Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, guys. Good evening, Tahseen. Good evening, Muskan. I believe I'm audible and visible, right? Not an issue, right? Okay, fine. So, chalo then. Okay, so good evening, Gunjan. Okay, good evening, Prachi, Muskan. So, good evening. Okay, fine. Okay, so fine. So, good evening, Karthik. So, good evening, everyone. So, today we'll be taking up the evolution of India's foreign policy after Nehru. So, if you see the last class, so we had analyzed the evolution of India's foreign policy from Nehru, that is from beginning part of Nehru period, that is from 1947 till up till Nehru's death. So, we had analyzed everything. So now we'll be taking up what happened to the foreign policy after Nehru. After Nehru's death, what happened? So I'll give a brief summary. But however, if you have any doubt regarding previous class, please put it in the chat box so that I'll clear all those doubts. But however, we'll have a quick summary regarding the foreign policy during Nehru's period. So if you see the foreign policies during Nehru's period, so it was more of an idealism. For Nehru's foreign policy was more based on idealistic values, say in terms of peaceful coexistence, not interfering in internal matters, so their domestic matters, respecting territory and sovereignty, etc. So these were the idealistic principle that was followed by Nehru. So, as a reason, India's foreign policy was also more idealistic during Nehru's period. And again, here, guys, please, it's a humble request. Please have this running notes. Running notes in the sense, the reason is that should be very attentive in the class. It's not that you listen in the class in a passive manner. That doesn't work here. In IR, so each and every details that you should know. If you have a broad, again I'm telling you, if you have a broad understanding about your India's foreign policy evolution, every country's in relation with India, you can easily understand. But if you do not understand this overall evolution of India's foreign policy, it will be very difficult for you to answer. So at least for the next two classes, please be very attentive in the in the session, or else it's going to be very difficult later on. In fact, you'll not understand anything. So even the current regime, whatever it might tell regarding Nehru, so is following the Nehru's foreign policy itself. More or less, it's the Nehru's foreign policy itself. So please understand what is Nehru's foreign policy. And if you see, starting from say Lal Bahadur Shastri even till present regime, more or less the Nehru's foreign policy is stagnant, or say that the same policy is being followed by everyone. So please understand what is this Nehru's foreign policy. So when Nehru, I hope everyone have seen what is Cold War, right? At least one or two videos on Cold War, right? I believe you should have seen Cold War. Am I not audible, Aditi? Audible, Aditi, it's audible here. I believe there is no technical issue, right? So that I can easily focus on the class. No technical video, everything is audible, right? Okay, Divya, I'll explain NAM. Fine. Okay, so fine, please see here. If you understand Nehru's foreign policy, you can easily understand every foreign policy, because every prime minister is following whatever Nehru has created a foundation on. So Nehru's foreign policy was more idealistic foreign policy. It was based on Nehru's Panchsheel principles. So what are these Panchsheel principle? So broadly, that is respecting mutual interest, ensuring equality, that is not intervening in others domestic politics, or say respecting territory, individual territories, and sovereignty, etc. So these were very much idealistic foreign policy. But what did Kautilya tell? So Kautilya told that, so if you see all the international relations principle, that is the basic foundation principle of IR is that self-interest. But what did Nehru do? Nehru, if you consider Nehru's foreign policy here, so yeah, one second. So this was broadly Nehru's foreign policy. So this was Panchil broadly Nehru's foreign policy. If you consider this Nehru's Panchil policy, this is more or less a very idealistic policy. But in a pragmatic approach, in IR, we should promote our self-interest. But what did Nehru tell? So that is, we should ensure mutual benefits, peaceful coexistence. So these were the ideas that was pitched by Nehru in his foreign policy, and almost similar ideas is continued by every prime minister. So that's the reason why India is respected across the world for its foreign policy, because more or less India always takes the right stance, or say the ethical stance. Even for that matter, in the current, say, Palestine war, Israel Palestine war, no matter what the social media tells, or what the some of the entities in the government tell, but the official statement of India is to support Palestine. So don't go by this social media or say WhatsApp forward. That is not say actual India's official stance. The official stand, whatever the MEA gives, is always based on this one. That is Nehru's Panchil policy. So more or less, it was an idealistic policy, and in the initial phase, India's foreign policy was emphasizing on decolonization and engaging with Asia and with Africa. So in the initial period, please focus here, that is in the initial period of India's foreign in independence, say 1947 till up till 1960s, we were more focused on Asia and Africa region. And I believe everyone would have seen at least one or two videos on Cold War. Cold War is a topic in your world history. If you haven't completed Cold War, but please see to it Cold War. Without Cold War, you will not understand India's foreign policy. So so what was the background during Nehru's period for the foreign policy? So the background was India had got independence, and the socio-economic condition was very adverse when during India's independence. So we did not have adequate food, the literacy level was very low, the poverty was very high. So in this condition, India had to frame a foreign policy. And secondly, so there was Cold War going on, that is Cold War between your US and USSR. So this US and USSR wanted to promote their ideology across the world. But what was India's stance? India's stance was to maintain neutrality. That is, it was started during Nehru's period, that is India will maintain neutrality, that is neither it will align to US nor it will align towards USSR. That was the principal stand that India had taken. If you consider in the present regime also, present Modi regime also, we still follow the same thing, that is we do not align ourselves with US or neither with Russia. So we are a neutral entity, that is we neither align ourselves with US nor USSR, or say the currently the Russia. So this was started by Nehru. So overall, this was the summary, this was the crux of Nehru's foreign policy. But what happened, unfortunately, in 1962 we had a war with China. So we had a war with China in 1962. But what was Nehru's foreign policy? Nehru's foreign policy was idealistic, very much idealistic. It was idealism, not a realistic foreign policy. Nehru's foreign policy was not a realistic foreign policy as such. It was more of an idealistic foreign policy. Idealistic foreign policy in the sense peaceful coexistence, mutual benefits, that is non-aggression, mutual respect of territory, etc. But see here, so what happened? Please minimize your size of PPT as it's not properly visible. Is it not visible? Uh, the PPT, I think it should be visible, right? The PPT is visible, right? Yeah, it's visible, Aditya. Okay, so please, yeah, see, I believe there are no technical issues as such here. Okay, let me focus on the subject. So, yeah, no technical issues. Let me focus here. So if you see here, Nehru's foreign policy is more of an idealistic foreign policy, that is peaceful coexistence, So here, peaceful coexistence, mutual benefits, non-interference in each other's internal matters, non-aggression in case of a dispute, or say mutual respect of territory and territorial integrity and sovereignty. So this was Nehru's foreign policy. It was more idealistic. But what happened in 1962? 1962, China attacked us. So we signed this Panchil agreement with China. So when we take up India-China relationship, we'll go in detail. But now have a broad understanding. We signed a Panchil agreement with China saying that both India and China will respect this Panchil agreement. That is, our foreign policy with respect to China will follow this principle, and the same thing has to be reciprocated by China. So that was our foreign policy. But what happened in 1962? In 1962, China all of a sudden attacked us. So we didn't even expect that China would attack us, because this was our foreign policy towards China. That is, Nehru's Panchil policy was our principle towards China. But China did not respect this. So all of a sudden, China attacked us. So if China attacked us, what all got compromised? Peaceful coexistence got compromised. Peaceful coexistence got compromised. Mutual benefit got compromised. Non-interference, that is aggression. China showed aggression. And again here, mutual respect of territorial integrity and sovereignty, it got compromised, because in 1962 war, China captured Aksai Chin. So this is your Aksai Chin. If you consider this is your Jammu Kashmir, yeah, this is Jammu Kashmir region, this is your Aksai Chin region. So this region China captured in 1962 war. So that time it was a reality check for India. That is, India's foreign policy was based on idealism, but it did not work out in the real world. So as a reason, after 1962, there was a slight modification in India's foreign policy. The slight modification was, that is, we moved from idealism towards pragmatism, idealism towards realism. But however, the philosophy is more or less the same, but the crux moved from idealism towards your realism. So this was the crux in your Nehru's Panchil policy. Fine. So after Nehru's death, so who was the next prime minister? So the next prime minister was, yeah, so the next prime minister was Lal Bahadur Shastri. Fine. Okay. So Aksai Chin, no. Now currently Aksai Chin is still controlled by China, but however it is an integral part of India. Fine. Okay. So now let us see the foreign policies after Nehru. So after Nehru, how was the foreign policy? So write down this. So evolution of foreign policy post Nehru. Evolution of foreign policies post Nehru. So post Nehru. So write down here. Post 1962 war, post 1962 India-China war, post 1962 India-China war, post 1962 India-China war, India-China war, India's foreign policy had slight modification. India's foreign policy had slight modification. India's foreign policy had slight modification based on the new realities. Based on the new realities. Based on the new realities. So what was the new realities? The new reality was that idealism doesn't work. All this peaceful coexistence, respecting territory, sovereignty and territory, that doesn't work in the real world. So we had to shift our foreign policy. So what was the shift? So write down here, pragmatism, write on next point, pragmatism over idealism. So pragmatism over idealism. So pragmatism over idealism. Pragmatism over idealism. So here write down pragmatism over idealism. India began to diversify. India began to diversify. India began to diversify. India began to diversify diversify its defense, diversify its defense partnership, India began to diversify its defense partnership. Next one, right now. India started developing. India started developing. India started developing dedicated dedicated forces. Dedicated forces. India started developing dedicated dedicated forces. Dedicated forces to guard to guard the borders. To guard the borders. Example, ITBP. Example, ITBP. Okay, so it was after this 1962 war. So India started diversifying its defense partnership. That is, we started importing defense equipment from various countries, and also after 1962 war, India started having a dedicated forces for guarding India's boundaries. See, ITBP was established. ITBP is Indo-Tibet Border Police. So Indo-Tibetan Border Police and your Assam Indo-Tibetan Border Police is along the borders, along your India-China borders. So that is your Indo-Tibetan Border Police was established, and say be it your Assam Rifles, etc. So many forces were established mainly to guard the borders. Earlier, so if you see during Nehru's period, that was not considered. So we were living in an idealistic world, but it did not work out. So after Nehru's period, so every prime minister started focusing on diversifying the defense partnership, that is defense partnership, and second one is having a dedicated forces for guarding, so for manning the borders, or say guarding the borders. So this happened after your Nehru's death. So after your Nehru's period. So next one, write down Indira Gandhi period. Indira Gandhi era. So 1966 to 1984. Indira Gandhi era, 1966 to 1984. Indira Gandhi era, 1966 to 1984. Okay, please everyone focus here so that you will have a broad understanding over India's foreign policy. See, Lal Bahadur Shastri had a very short tenure, fine, but however, Indira Gandhi had a very long tenure compared to Lal Bahadur Shastri. The longest tenure is Nehru. So Lal Bahadur Shastri had a short tenure, and the next longest tenure was Indira Gandhi. So again in Indira Gandhi period, so what all happened? Please see here. Just know the timeline, but however, when we take up the country specific, you will get to know the reality. Okay, in detail. So that is in 1965, we had a war with Pakistan. See here, 1962 war was with China. Fine. So in 1965, we had another war with Pakistan. So again, what happened in 1971, we had another war with Pakistan. So we had multiple wars. So in 1947, there was a war. Forget about that. We'll see to it later on. But however, in 1965 and 1971, we had a war with Pakistan. So again, just keep in mind that in the background, Cold War is going on. So in the background, Cold War is going on. This Pakistan, what did it do? It aligned itself with USA. So Cold War is going on between US and Russia, US and USSR. So they are both US and USSR are trying to promote their ideology by acquiring, in the sense by helping out many countries, or say by influencing many countries. What happened? Pakistan aligned itself with USA. So as a reason, in 1965 war, USA was supporting Pakistan. That is, Pakistan was getting benefits from USA. Say in terms of defense and in terms of money, Pakistan was getting benefits from USA. But however, we won against Pakistan. That is, in this war, 1965 war, India was the winner. So, but however, what happened in 1971 war? So US strongly backed Pakistan. So in this period, what happened? We couldn't directly engage with Pakistan. So as a reason, India had a slight shift in its foreign policy. India started engaging with Russia, that is USSR. Getting this. So in Indira Gandhi's period, we signed a treaty of friendship with USSR. The reason is that, so earlier, what did Nehru tell? Nehru told that during Nehru's period, the foreign policy was neutrality, that is maintaining neutral stance. That is, neither will align ourselves with US nor will align ourselves with Russia. We will maintain neutral stance. If we have some interest with US, we'll go with US, or say if we have some interest with Russia, we'll go with Russia. But we will not have complete allegiance with any of these two entities. That was the stance during your Nehru's regime. But however, during Indira Gandhi's regime in 1971 war, we were forced to align ourselves towards Russia, USSR, because Pakistan had aligned with the US, and Pakistan was getting all the supports from US, say in terms of money, in terms of defense equipment, etc. It was getting support from US. So in order to safeguard ourselves, or say in order to win over Pakistan, we had to get support from USSR. So that is when there was a slight shift in our policies. That is, in 1971, India signed a friendship treaty with Russia. So for the first time, India signed a friendship treaty with Russia. So since 1971, even today, we are having a very close ties with Russia. So it is much more closer than with USA, compared to USA. So since 1971, Russia is one of the closest ally to India. So in 1991, I think everyone would have studied what is Cold War. In 1991, what happened? USSR got dissolved, so got disintegrated. So USSR got disintegrated, and we have Russia. So even after having Russia, that is after disintegration of USSR, so we are still having a very close ties with Russia. So because of this 1971 friendship treaty, fine. So this friendship treaty was signed by Indira Gandhi. Even the present Modi regime is respecting this friendship treaty. So based on this friendship treaty, we are having a good relation with Russia. Fine. So write down this. What happened during Indira Gandhi's period? So what was our foreign policy during Indira Gandhi's period? So first one, write down. So Indira Gandhi's regime 1966 to 1984. So here first one, write down. Maintaining closer ties with USSR. 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 As by signing treaty of friendship. By signing treaty of friendship. By signing treaty of friendship. Treaty of friendship in 1971. So after Indira Gandhi onwards, every prime minister has maintained a close contact with Russia. So this Indira Gandhi was Congress. Forget about Congress. So even Morarji Desai, that is after Indira Gandhi, we had Morarji government. So even Morarji Desai also had a very close ties with Russia. Vajpayee also had a very close ties with Russia. Current Modi government is also having very close ties with Russia. So after Indira Gandhi, after this 1971 treaty, in India has a very close ally with, or a very close partner with, Russia. Fine. So next one, write down. So next one is after this, write down nuclear power. Nuclear power. Nuclear power. What did Nehru tell? So what did Nehru tell? Nehru propagated nuclear disarmament. So if you have studied Cold War, or say if you have watched at least one or two videos on Cold War, so you'll get to know that in Cold War there was a nuclear race. That is, US was building up a lot of nuclear weapons. Russia was also building up a lot of nuclear weapons. So what happened during Indira, and what did Nehru tell? Nehru told that we want nuclear disarmament. That is, US and Russia should stop manufacturing of nuclear weapons, and what are the weapons that they have to stop it. What are the weapons they have, that they have to they have to remove it. So that was the idea that was given by Nehru. But what did Indira Gandhi do? So Indira Gandhi was the first prime minister in India who initiated a nuclear program. That is, our foreign policy emphasized that even we also want to become a nuclear power. It is not just Russia and US. So even we should also become a nuclear power. So there was a nuclear power ambition was there. So write down here, nuclear power ambition. Nuclear power ambition. Nuclear power ambition. So here under this write down, India conducted first nuclear test, nuclear power ambition. India conducted first nuclear test in 1974. India conducted first nuclear test in 1974. 1974, conducted first nuclear test in 1974 to ensure strategic autonomy, strategic autonomy, strategic autonomy and deterrence. Strategic autonomy and deterrence. Strategic autonomy and deterrence. Please see here. So what was Nehru telling? Nehru was telling nuclear disarmament. That is, no one should build nuclear weapons. What did Indira Gandhi do? She conducted a nuclear test. So we became a nuclear power in 1974. Because see, by having nuclear power, it creates a deterrence. Deterrence. That is, no country would try to attack India, because India has become a nuclear power. So we could drop a nuclear weapon on them. So as a reason, it creates a nuclear deterrence. That is, having a nuclear weapon in itself creates a it creates a deterrence. So if you had seen the famous interview of Abdul Kalam, I think it was in NDTV. So if you just after the class, you can just see that interview. Excellent interview by in NDTV of Dr. Abdul Kalam. So he tells that power respects power. So when the question was asked that why India is keen on developing nuclear weapons, but India's and that is the founding figures, the founding fathers were promoting peace. That is, your entire national movement, that is freedom movement, was on the basis of non-violence. And why India is having nuclear weapons, or say why India is developing nuclear weapons and missiles like Agni 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer that was given by Dr. Abdul Kalam was that power respects power. If India is a nuclear power, then all other power would respect India. So this concept was initiated by Indira Gandhi. But whereas Nehru's policy was more of idealism, that is nuclear disarmament. That is, we will not develop any nuclear weapons. But on the other side, what Indira Gandhi did, she initiated this nuclear program, and the first nuclear test was conducted in 1974, and we become a nuclear power. And for this nuclear test, Russia helped us. So it is not that India conducted on its own. So for this 1974 nuclear test, Russia helped us. So again, in within brackets below this point, right on, Russia helped India, or say USSR helped India. USSR helped India in its first nuclear test. USSR helped India in its first nuclear test. First nuclear test. Fine. So this was during the initial period of Indira Gandhi. But however, after Indira Gandhi, it was after emergency period, so we had another government. So that is your 1977. In 1977, we had Moraji Desai government. That's a Janata Party government. So right down here, so a Janata Party period, 1977 till 1980. 1977 till 1980. 1977 till 1980. Okay, so what happened during Indira Gandhi's period? So Indira Gandhi's period, the important idea was the important change in the foreign policy was that India shifted its allegiance towards Russia. It's not we were not completely aligned ourselves with Russia, but however, India became a close partner to Russia compared to US. But however, in Moraji Desai government, that is in Janata Party government, so what India did was what was India's foreign policy was that India maintained close ties with Russia, but however, India initiated talks with US as well. So after in this Janata Party period, India initiated talks with US and the Western world. But however, during Indira Gandhi's period, India was a close partner with Russia. There was no major diplomatic engagement US or with the Western world. But however, in Janata Party period, so what India did was India was a close ally with Russia. But however, India initiated talks with Russia. India initiated talks with US and USSR, US and Western world. This see look at how India's foreign policy is evolving. So irrespective of the political party, whichever policy benefits India, that policy would be taken by the upcoming government. So this the India initiated the relation with US and US and Western world during Janata period. The same policy was continued by Rajiv Gandhi. So Rajiv Janata period, Janata party is different, Rajiv Gandhi's party is Congress. But however, when Janata Party initiated this diplomatic engagements with US and the Western world, this policy was taken forward by Rajiv Gandhi as well. So now write down here what happened during Janata Party period. So what was the foreign policy during Janata Party period? So write down here it emphasized it emphasized on, so India's foreign policy emphasized on improving relations with emphasized on improving relations with the Western world, improving relations with the Western world, mainly USA, improved relation with the Western world, mainly USA, mainly USA, mainly USA. However, mainly USA. However, India also maintained close ties. However, India also maintained close ties with USSR. India also maintained close ties with USSR. India also maintained close ties with USSR. So this was Janata Party period, but however, there's no major impact on the foreign policy because the government was not much stable during Janata Party period. So this 1977 to 1980, the government was not much stable. So as a reason, no major foreign policy changes was taken place. But however, India initiated talks with the West, mainly your USA. So this was the foreign policy during Moraji Desai period, also during Janata Party period. Now come to Rajiv Gandhi period. So what happened during Rajiv Gandhi period? So write down here 1984 to 89. 1984 to 1989. 1984 to 1989. Okay, so now please focus here. So during Rajiv Gandhi era, so what did Rajiv Gandhi do? So it was during Moraji Desai period, India initiated talks with the Western world, mainly USA. So this policy was carried forward or say was taken by Rajiv Gandhi period. So in Rajiv Gandhi period, so what happened? The foreign policy, please now understand. Now again come back to the broad aspects. That is during the Nehru period, the foreign policy was more of idealism. So it was more of idealism. But from Shastri, from Lal Bahadur Shastri period till Moraji Desai government, our foreign policy was tilted towards ensuring India's security. So we our foreign policy never engaged or say was not tilted towards the economic angle. That is by through foreign policy, India wanted to secure itself. That was the main aim of our foreign policy from Nehru, from Shastri period till Moraji Desai period. Fine. So even during Indira Gandhi period or say Shastri period or Moraji Desai period, so the foreign policy whatever India had, so the main focus was to get defense benefits or say ensure India's security. That was the main aspect. But however, during Rajiv Gandhi's period, so we started moving our foreign policy towards the economic dimension. That is, India wanted to get economic benefits through foreign policy. So just analyze the changes, what's happening here. So after Indira Gandhi, that is before 84, we had Indira Gandhi as the prime minister. So that is during Rajiv Gandhi period. So from Rajiv Gandhi period onwards, what happened? India's foreign policy tilted slightly towards the economic angle. So because the defense aspects was sorted out, that is, India was secure enough so that we did not wanted some extra external support. So before that, before say Lal Bahadur Shastri, during Lal Bahadur Shastri period, also during Indira Gandhi period, we wanted external support for India's security. So that is why our foreign policy was focusing on ensuring India's security. But however, by 1980s, more or less India had maintained adequate army or say adequate military forces which could secure India. But however, so after 90, that is after Rajiv Gandhi period, that is from Rajiv Gandhi period, our foreign policy shifted slightly towards the economic angle. That is, through foreign policy, India wanted to get economic benefits. Through foreign policy, India wanted to get technological benefits. But whereas if you see Indira Gandhi period or say Moraji Desai period or say Lal Bahadur Shastri period, through foreign policy, India wanted to ensure its defense and security perspective. From Rajiv Gandhi period, you notice that so it was Rajiv Gandhi who allowed all this foreign direct investment into India. That is your Texas, the famous Texas Instrument that came into India during Rajiv Gandhi's period. So he was the one who relaxed this FDA norms. That is, the foreign companies, the Western companies could come into India. And secondly, the technology, that is the computers, all this telecom revolutions or say computer revolution, all this was brought by Rajiv Gandhi under his foreign policy. So in during Rajiv Gandhi's period, the foreign policy focused more on economic dimension, more on technological dimension, and very less on the defense angle. Fine. So that was the main change in the Rajiv Gandhi's period. So the India's foreign policy, the main change in India's foreign policy during Rajiv Gandhi period was that our foreign policy shifted towards your economic angle, shifted towards your technological angle. Through foreign policy, India wanted to get economic benefits, India wanted to get technological benefits. So this was the changes. So then what happened after Rajiv Gandhi period? So Narasimha Rao, that is Narasimha Rao Manmohan Singh period. So through foreign policy, we further moved towards the economic angle. Currently, if you see the current Modi regime, so even the current Modi regime, the present regime also focuses on economic angle. That is, we do want defense benefits from foreign policy through India's foreign policy, but however, it is more to do with your economic angle. Fine. So this economic aspects of foreign policy was started during Rajiv Gandhi period. Fine. So write down here Rajiv Gandhi era 1984 to 1989. So write down here So focus on. So again here it was focus on economic diplomacy. Economic diplomacy. Economic diplomacy. Economic diplomacy. Economic diplomacy. Colon and colon or hyphen. So write down. So India's foreign policy allowed foreign countries, and that is the foreign countries to invest in India. Foreign countries to invest in India, which would have, which would help in, mutual economic, mutual economic benefits. Mutual economic benefits. Mutual economic benefits. Mutual economic benefits. So next one, write down. Engagement with other countries. Engagement with other countries for technology exchanges. Engagement with other countries for technology exchanges. For technology exchanges. Technology exchanges. So example computer, example computer technology from US to India. Computer technology from USA to India. USA to India. Okay. Please see here. Now what happened, I'll just give us a quick summary about what happened during Indira Gandhi, during this Rajiv Gandhi's period. So in Rajiv Gandhi's era, so our foreign policy tried to focus on, started focusing on the economic angle. That is, we started seeing India's foreign policy through the economic lens. That is, through India's foreign policy, India wanted economic benefits and technological benefits. Then what happened? So this was one aspect of India's foreign policy. In 1980s, India wanted to assert itself as a leader of Asian region, as a leader in Indian Ocean region. So now please focus here. In 1980s, India wanted to assert itself as a leader in the Indian Ocean region. The reason was that, so we had, see here, 1962 war. So we had 1962 war, 1965 war, 1971 war. 62 war we lost, India lost. 65 and 71 war, India won this war. So what happened in 1980s? In 1980s, now India was more stable and India wanted to assert itself as a leader in the Indian Ocean region. So India wanted to act as a leader in the Indian Ocean region. So what happened during Rajiv Gandhi's period? And again here, your foreign policy is closely linked with the stability of the government. If the government is more stable, we can have a very good foreign policy. Your Rajiv Gandhi government was a stable government. So as a reason, what happened? It started asserting itself as a leader in the Indian Ocean region. So next point, write down. So next point below this, write down. So India, that is, write down here. So India started asserting India started asserting, India started asserting itself as a leader, as a leader in IOR. So you'll be using a lot of IOR. IOR means Indian Ocean Region. So in one bracket you write IOR. Henceforth you'll be using the word IOR, Indian Ocean Region. Indian Ocean Region. India started asserting itself as a leader in Indian Ocean region. Example, so example write down. India tried to India tried to resolve the Sri Lankan civil war civil war Sri Lankan Civil War in 1987. Fine. India started to assert itself as a leader in the Indian Ocean region. So the example was that India, there was a civil war. So the history, everything about the Sri Lankan Civil War, we'll see to it when we take up India-Sri Lanka relationship. Now just know that there was one civil war going on in Sri Lanka in 1987 because we are a leader. We wanted to assert ourselves as a leader. So what did we do? So we entered into Sri Lanka and we told don't indulge in the civil war, and we tried to negotiate between the two parties in the civil war, in Sri Lankan civil war. So this was your foreign policy during Rajiv Gandhi period. And next, what happened? See here. So again come back to Nehru's period. So Nehru's period. So in 1962, what happened? So we had a war with China. What was the outcome? India lost this war. So after this, Lal Bahadur Shastri, LB Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indira Gandhi, Morarji Desai, all these prime minister, they did not actively engage with China because this 1962 war was all of a sudden. We didn't even expect that China would attack us. All of a sudden, there was a 1962 war that is China attacked us. So we had a trust deficit with China. So after 1962, Nehru was alive till 1964. So even from 1962 to 1964, Nehru did not trust China. Lal Bahadur Shastri also did not trust China. Indira Gandhi also did not trust China. Or say Morarji Desai also did not trust China. So in a sense, it is not that we considered China as an enemy country. No, we did not consider China as an enemy country. But however, we did not maintain a close diplomatic engagement with China. So what happened in Rajiv Gandhi's period? So it was in 1988. Rajiv Gandhi, for the first time after 1962 war, in 1988, Rajiv Gandhi was the first prime minister who visited China. Yes, yes, Sunny. Bhai was a traitor. Good, good, good. Okay, so anyways, I will not go in detail regarding India-China relationship now. When we take up India-China as such, as a separate topic, that time we'll go in detail. Now understand the broad overview about your India's foreign policy. So this was during Nehru's period. Fine. Sorry, this was during your Rajiv Gandhi's period. So now let us focus on the next aspect. So the next one is 1991. So in 1991, Rajiv Gandhi died in 1991. So who initiated? Please see here again. Just keep this in mind. Who initiated the foreign policy tilt towards the economic angle? Rajiv Gandhi. So before Rajiv Gandhi, so whatever the foreign policy that India had was tilted towards the security dimension. That is, we wanted to ensure India's security through India's foreign policy. But however, from Rajiv Gandhi's era, we wanted to get economic benefits, technological benefits through foreign policy. So what happened in 1991? That was initiated by Rajiv Gandhi. So with China also, we initiated good relation during Rajiv Gandhi's period. But Rajiv Gandhi died in 1991. So Rajiv Gandhi got assassinated in 1991, and then a new government came. So what was the new government? It was led by PV Narasimha Rao. So again here, so this happened in, no, please focus here. So at India level, we had a new government. Rajiv Gandhi got assassinated. At India level, we had a new government. So now who was the government? That was headed by PV Narasimha Rao. So in the during PV Narasimha Rao, now zoom out and see at the global level. At a global level, what happened in 1991? So at global level, so the Cold War ended. So Cold War ended. So what was the outcome of Cold War? USSR got disintegrated. So please see here. So in 1991, Rajiv Gandhi got assassinated. A new government got formed in India. So, but however, at the global level, the Cold War got ended. So Cold War got ended. USSR got disintegrated. Now, who was the only power that was there? USA was the only power that was there, and the world had become unipolar world. So during Cold War, it was a bipolar world. US on one side, USSR on the other side. In 1991, USSR got disintegrated. So USSR is gone. That is, Russia is gone. So we have only one power, that is your USA. So in this period, 1991, so in India, we had a new government. The new government was your PV Narasimha Rao's government. So what did Rajiv Gandhi do? So Rajiv Gandhi tilted India's foreign policy towards the economic dimension. This idea was taken by Narasimha Rao. So during Narasimha Rao, so we wanted to have a foreign policy through which we benefit from the economic perspective. That is, we have some economic benefits through India's foreign policy. So as a reason, now please everyone be very cautious over here. So what happened, if you see Cold War, if you see any video on Cold War, us, that is America, USA was very brutal during Cold War. That is, if any country gets aligned towards US would intervene in their domestic politics. That was very much evident because Pakistan aligned. Please focus here. Because Pakistan aligned itself towards USA started intervening in Pakistan's domestic politics. USA started controlling Pakistan government, Pakistan army, etc. So now in 1991, so what did Rajiv Gandhi do in 1985, 84, 1984, 85? What did Rajiv Gandhi do? The foreign policy was shifted towards your economic angle. So the same concept was taken by PV Narasimha Rao. Now we wanted to have a foreign policy that would give us economic benefit. So now zoom out and see. Now in 1991, Russia is gone, USSR is gone. We have only one country, that is USA is the only one country. If we align our foreign policy towards USA for economic benefit, there are very high chances that USA would start intervening in our domestic politics. USA would start start intervening in our army. So what was the evidence? The evidence was our neighborhood, so our neighbor, that is Pakistan. In Pakistan, USA was intervening in everything, domestic politics, army, etc. So but we did not wanted that. So as a reason, what happened? So on one side, USA was a developing economy, was a developed economy. We could engage with US for economic benefits, because from Rajiv Gandhi period onwards, we wanted to have a foreign policy through which we get economic benefits. That was the main aspect. Defense became the secondary perspective, but economic benefit became the primary perspective after Rajiv Gandhi's period. So during PV Narasimha Rao period, so one alternative was that we should have a foreign policy through which we start engaging with USA. On the other side, there was a challenge that USA could intervene in our domestic politics, and India was also not a very strong country as such. So the government, say, PV Narasimha Rao government was also not a majority government, so it was not a strong government as such. So India also had economic crisis. So due to these conditions, India had to find out any alternative country, or say alternative region, which could provide us economic benefits. So what was the alternative region? So during 1991, please focus here, during 1991, your Southeast Asian economy, that is Southeast Asian economy, this was your Southeast Asian economy. So this was your East Asian economy. So your Japan, Philippines, Indonesia, all this economy was booming. It was booming. It was growing in double digit. If you see here, all the after say from say 1980s onwards, so all these economies was growing. That is your Southeast Asian economy was booming. It was growing in double digits. So in 19 later part of your 1980s and 1990s, so this Southeast Asian economies were called as Asian tigers. So it was known as your Asian tigers. So Asian tigers. So why it was known as the Asian tigers? Because it was, the economy was booming. The economy was growing in double digits. So as a reason, if the economy is growing in double digits, so the people's income will increase. People's disposable income will increase. If India's economic grows, what happens? Everyone will get money. Everyone will get more income. If everyone gets more income, what would happen? So we would start purchasing more goods and services. So if the Southeast Asian market is increasing, if the Southeast Asian economy is increasing, money will be there with the people and they will start buying more products. Then in this condition, if India has a good foreign relation with these countries, we can sell our goods and services to this country. Is it possible? Yes. If we have a very good relation with these countries through foreign policies, we can sell our goods and services to this country. On one side, we have US. US is a developed country, big market. We could sell our goods and services to US. On the other side, we had this Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries. So this Southeast Asian country is also developing in a double digit, growing in double digit. So if it is growing in double digit, people's disposable income is increasing. If people's disposable income is increasing, if India maintains a good relation with this Southeast Asian countries, good foreign relation with the Southeast Asian countries, India can sell our goods and services to this country so that we will get economic benefits. That was the idea. So during Narasimha Rao's period, what happened? So India started focusing on lookist policy. So see here, what happened in 1991? Cold War ended. USSR is gone now. So now the world is unipolar. Either we have to engage ourselves with US or find some other country which is having good economic potential. So what India did, rather than engaging with US, India started engaging with this Southeast Asian countries. For that, India had a dedicated foreign policy called as lookist policy. Fine. So understood. The current Modi government is also following the same PV Narasimha Rao's policy. They just renamed it, rebranded it as a actist policy. So this lookist policy was started during PV Narasimha Rao's regime. So because we wanted to get benefit. We wanted to get economic benefits through foreign policy. And who started this aspect, that is getting economic benefits through foreign policy? Rajiv Gandhi started. So before Rajiv Gandhi, what was the concept? That is, we wanted to get security benefit. We wanted to get defense benefits from foreign policy, through India's foreign policy. It was during Rajiv Gandhi's period. So our foreign policy shifted in such a way that we started to gain economic benefits through foreign policy. Now, now during Narasimha Rao's period, USSR is gone. We had only USA. So now the better available option, or the safest available option, was this Southeast Asian market. Southeast Asian market was growing in double digit. If you see here, look at the economy, look at the disposable income, that is the per capita income. So the per capita income of all the Southeast Asian market was booming. So if the per capita income is booming, in the sense, if your salary keeps increasing, what will happen? So if your salary keeps increasing in double digits, so the rate of increase is in double digit, what will happen? Your disposable income will grow. If your disposable income will grow, you will start buying more things, you will start buying more goods and services. So if we know that this region, Southeast Asian market, if this region is growing in double digit, if we have a good foreign relation with this country, with these countries, we can sell our goods and services to these countries easily. So that was the idea. So in order to encash this growth, of Southeast Asian market, India started a lookist policy after 1991. Fine, got it? Any doubt over here? So fine, right down here. Post 1991. No, Garima, this Southeast Asian market, Southeast Asian countries has nothing to do with your USSR. USSR, yeah, humble request to everyone, please see Cold War. Cold War is a topic of your world history. If you haven't completed world history, please watch at least 1 or 2 videos, or say 10 minutes some video in YouTube on Cold War. Only then you will understand this relation properly. Your Southeast Asian market has nothing to do with your USSR. It is only the Central Asia region. So earlier Central Asia was a part of your Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajik, etc. All these were a part of your USSR. So after Cold War, USSR got disintegrated into multiple countries. So earlier all this thing was one country. Fine. Okay. Now, sir, what factors led to the growth of Ramandeep? What factors, in a sense, demographic dividend? Currently, India is in demographic dividend phase, right? So same thing. So India is in demographic dividend phase. Youth population is more. So the working age population is more. So your Southeast Asian market. So in 1980s and 90s, the working age population was more, and they had developed port. So ports were properly developed, so the trade had increased. So that's the reason your Southeast Asian market was booming. Fine. Yeah, we'll see what is lookish policy in detail, Divya. Now write on the basic things. Okay, so now write on here key trends post, that is write on here post 1991. Post 1991 period. Foreign policy post 1991. Foreign policies post 1991. Foreign policies post 1991. So write on here Cold War, just one line. So Cold War ended. Cold War ended. USSR got disintegrated. Cold disintegrated. USSR got disintegrated. Unipolar world. Next point is unipolar world. Led by unipolar world, led by USA. Unipolar world led by USA. unipolar world led by USA. And again here, guys, how many of you yeah, how many of you have gone through the toposcopy? Toposcopy. How many of you say haven't seen the toposcopy or gone through the toposcopy? Okay, for the people who are telling no, na, see, you're making a very big mistake of not going through the toposcopy. And only few, yeah. See, I'm telling openly, your toppers copy has more relevance than my own class notes or say any textbook for that matter. You will not know now. Once you get one or two tight slaps from UPSC, then you'll realize that by what to write in UPSC, you will not even know. Unless you see the toppers copy yourself, you will not know what to write. So it's something like this. Unless you see the image of Lord Ganesha, you will not know what Lord Ganesha looks like. Got it? So unless you don't see toppers copy, you will not know what exactly needs to be written. So don't assume that your UPSC answer is something like this. कुछ नहीं होता है. Just see the toppers copy. If you do not see the toppers copy, you are going wrong. मतलब you can skip my own class notes. I'm openly telling you can skip my own class notes or say skip any textbook, anything, skip everything and see the toppers copy. You will get to know the reality. So this was a big mistake that I did in my initial attempts, not seeing the toppers copy, just assuming that acha UPSC answer should look like this. Why are we even assuming it? So what's the reason of assuming that? We have a very simple approach. So on the other day, I met the last year, say Vidushi, rank 30. So Vidushi Singh. So first attempt there, she cleared in first attempt. So she openly told that she did not take any coaching as such, but she openly told that she is from SRCC. So forget about that. She told that she just went through the toppers copy, that helped a lot. And I was thinking that what was I doing in my initial attempts? I wasted my initial attempts because of not seeing toppers copy and assuming that acha, we should write answers in this manner. Why assume everything? So just see what a topper, how to write an answer. You can only know by seeing the toppers copy. And again here, please here, when I am dictating, yeah, when I am dictating, so don't be a grammar Nazi. So don't write in the full statement. That doesn't work in UPSC. So see, it has to be something like this. Cold War ended, so within bracket USSR hyphen disintegrated. Does it give you the entire meaning of the sentence? This is what is needed. So do not write, see boss, this doesn't work, your entire English paragraph doesn't work. So whenever I'm dictating, the reason why I'm dictating is that so you should know how to write in actual UPSC papers. So don't try to write in the full statement. That doesn't work. Use all these arrow marks, shortcuts, etc. So if you take up Ishita Kishore, rank one, last year rank one. Look at her copy. So what fancy English or say fancy grammar has she written? Rank one. Huh? So take up this year rank one's copy. So take up any topper copy and see, do they write full sentence or full statement? No, it's not written. So if you try to write full statements or say full sentence, you cannot complete the paper, boss. If you don't complete the paper, you are out of the exam while sitting in the exam hall itself. Getting it? So don't try to write the entire statement. That's the reason. Please have practice of running notes. Running notes in the sense on the go. You should see in UPSC paper, no, mainly in your essay and ethics, the skill of converting your thoughts into words, that skill is very very crucial. So when I explain, so you will have some understanding, and that understanding try to convert into words on your own. That skill is extremely important. So again here, don't at least in my class, don't sit in the class like in a passive mode. That is whatever I'm telling, you're just blindly copying it down. Or else if you have an option of if you're watching in a laptop or say Windows laptop, there's an option, type Windows plus H. Whenever I'm dictating, type Windows plus H. So Windows plus H will convert your speech to text. That will help you, right? So see here, whenever I'm dictating or say whenever I'm writing, are you getting any benefit out of it? Are you learning any skill that is going to fetch you marks? No. One mark is equivalent to 6 ranks. You will not know. Now you guys are like very young, or say you haven't even given one attempt. You don't know the importance of 1 mark. So just speak with the people who have given one mains or two mains and missed the cutoff by 1 mark. So they'll just tell that I should have just put one map over there. Today I would have cleared the examination. Or say I should have put one map or say one extra point over there. That would have helped me in getting into IAS. So no, don't be very juvenile here. Do the reverse engineering. Don't unnecessarily see toppers interview. That doesn't help you at all. So you have to analyze the paper properly. Sit and analyze the paper. Why are they getting marks? So do you see any topper writing full statements or say full sentence? No. Then if the topper is not writing full statements, say if whatever the topper paper you're seeing, no one except introduction, except conclusion, in the only in these two parts we have proper grammatical statements. But however in the body there is no grammatical statement as such. Just put arrow mark. The 1991 cold war ended. Cold War ended. Yeah, Cold War ended. So USSR disintegrated. That's arrow mark, arrow mark. So the evaluator will understand, man. The evaluator has experience more than our age. So understand this. So if you can understand what I have written, can't the evaluator understand? So just think practically, boss. It's not that I'm making it up. So look at the topper's copy. This is working. If this is working, you know that you have to implement the same thing in the paper. So if you have to implement the same thing in paper, why not start from the class itself? Or say for what reason are you sitting in the class? Say if you are sitting in the class for some super duper extraordinary knowledge, this is not the platform, boss. You have enrolled into this class to clear this examination. So tomorrow no one will come and ask you to write a foreign policy on with respect to say India China. No one will do that. So we have diplomats, they will do it. So you please focus on getting marks. Don't try to be too smart in acquiring a lot of knowledge. What will you do? Acquiring a lot of knowledge? Can you write? So how many words can you write for a 10 marks question? Just think practically. How many words can you write for a 10-mark question? 120 words. So 120. You do a PhD thesis on India China, the maximum you can write is 120 130 words. UPSC says 150 words. No one writes 150 words. If you maybe one or two questions you can write 150 words, but most of the question, that is say 120 130 words. You do one PhD thesis on India China, the maximum you can write is 120 words. Of this 120, 20 words is for intro, 20 words is for conclusion. So you have remaining say 70 80 words. That's it. So you need to write only 70 80 words. So do not overcomplicate this preparation, boss. So you need to sprinkle those keywords. And whenever I'm dictating, don't be like a juvenilist and keep writing. This is not some school as such. Whatever I'm telling or say whatever I'm explaining, don't write it verbatim. That doesn't help you. If possible, now if possible, try to put it in a block, a flow chart, or say try to put arrow marks, etc. You just need to convey a message to the evaluator that boss मुझे पता है, boss I know it. That's it. So you need not over explain each and everything. That doesn't work, man. So the evidence is topper's copy. Just see which topper has written complete statement. No one writes complete statement. If you write complete statement, what will happen now? You will compromise on a number of points. How many points you have to write for a 10-mark question? How many points you have to write? So have you analyzed how many points you have to write? Have you analyzed for a 10-mark question or a 15-mark question? Or say, have you even gone through the question, previous year questions? Say what exactly UPSC mains question looks like. If you haven't seen all these things, boss, then you are not on the right track as such. You're mindlessly, whatever mistake I did, the same mistakes you're doing, that is mindlessly keep reading things. What will you do if you don't even know what exactly is needed, if you don't even know what exactly has to be written? So then what is your frame of reference? So again here, what is the frame of reference through which you are studying IR? Randomly you're studying, yeah. So randomly you're studying, there has to be some frame of reference, right? So for a 10-mark question, IR may, how many points does the topper write? So have you gone through it? No. If you haven't gone through it, then how will you even know how many points to write? So randomly will write. There is some standard that has to be maintained, right? For a 10-mark question, how many points does the topper write? See here, for a 10-mark question, or say for a 50, usually in UPSC for a 10-mark question, each question will have two sub questions. Say question number 9, 9, 10, 19, 20. So this is your questions, fine. 9, 10, 19, 20. So 9 and 10 are 10-mark questions, 19, 20 is 15-mark questions. So the 10-mark questions will have two sub questions in it. So usually the pattern is, if you see all the toppers, the pattern is for a 10-mark question, we usually write one point for intro. Your 10-mark question will have two sub questions in it, so one point for intro and 4 point for the first subheading, 4 point for the first question, next 4 questions for the second question, last 1 point for the conclusion. So this is the standard pattern of writing a 10-mark question. For a 15-mark question, so usually there will be 3 sub questions. So if there is a 3 sub question, it is 1, 4, 4, 4, 1. If there are 2 sub questions for a 15-mark question, it is 1 point for intro, 6 point, 6 point, 1 point, 6 point for first sub question, 6 point for the next sub question, and last 1 point for the conclusion. So this is the standard pattern. So it is not that you take up one 10-mark question. If there is 2 sub question, for one sub question you will write say 8 points, and for one question you will write 1 point. That doesn't work. So see the standard pattern. How will you know what is the standard pattern? So how will you even know what needs to be written? See how to write the answers. Again, from class 1 I'm telling, do not consider this as a class notes. If you are writing, think as if you are writing from exam perspective. Think as if you are writing from as if you are writing one answer. So how will you even know how to write one answer? By seeing the topper's copy. If you are not seeing the topper's copy, you are making a very very big mistake. It is it's like you can skip Lakshmi Kant but not skip topper's copy. Fine. By topper's copy will give you everything. It will tell you, it will show you how to write every subject answer. Because if you see the topper's copy, so most of them would have written the same pattern. So then that's working. So that's what you have to do it. Okay. ठीक है. If you haven't seen, then uh, God bless you, but don't waste attempts here. I think most of you are in your early 20s. That's what I believe. Most of you are in your early 20s. You don't know what is the benefit that you get if you clear the exam in your early 20s. So you will have somewhere around 35 plus years of service with you. So if you have 35 years of, see, Shailaja is 18 years, you're not even eligible. So most of you'll have somewhere around 30-35 years of service with you. 35 years of service, you can be the secretary. So if anyone again here mega see the again here don't I'll see Ishita Kishore, yeah, again here Ishita Kishore or whichever topper copy you can see, if you want you can see. But however, another advice is that see the toppers copy, see every topper copy is more or less the same here. But however, see with respect to your handwriting, say if your handwriting font is very small, you can see the toppers whose handwriting is very small. Say for example, last year Huma Harati, so Huma Harita or Harati, rank 3. So her handwriting is very small. So if her handwriting is very small, so you need to align the answers, that is align the format. If you see her paper, Humarati, whose handwriting is very small, so what she does is that she starts her answer from here and leaves a lot of gap. So, and she uses big boxes like this, and her answers are over here. So she uses big box and she writes answers over here. So what is happening here is that because the see, if you are an evaluator, your page should be filled, right? If your font is small and you have to write say 120 words, the only thing, if your font is small and you have to write 120 words in 2 sheets, the only thing is that you need to increase the spacing. So for that, what you have to do is that you have to completely realign your writing style. So but however, so again here, so the condition is that, so for a 10 mark question you will have two sides, you will have to start from here end till here. But however, you should write only 120 words, 120 130 words, fine. For a 15 mark question, you will have to write say somewhere 220 230 words. 15 mark question, you will have 3 sides, start from here, go till the end. But however, you should write only 120 words because you have only 6 to 7 minutes. So 6 to 7 minutes, how to write 120 words but filling 2 pages, that is a skill that you have to learn. So in the class, so whenever I'm dictating or say whenever I'm telling anything, don't write it in a verbatim manner, that doesn't work. So just see what, if you're sitting in the class here, the basic principle in this exam is, if you are putting some efforts, that effort should get converted into marks, fine. You see, if I am dictating, just assume this, if I am dictating and you are writing verbatim, if I am explaining and you are writing verbatim, what is that skill you have got it? What is that skill you have got? So with respect to you, UPSC, what is that skill you have got? The skill that is required to clear mains is presentation, structure, timing, and content. So this is the only thing. So it's in the same order. Presentation should be very good, structure should be good, next importance is timing, and the last one is content. So have you seen toppers copy? Which topper has written some extraordinary content which no one knows? Every topper copy writes more or less writes a similar answer. But what varies is this presentation, structure, and time varies. So whenever I'm dictating, please try to use all these arrow marks, this kind of flow charts, all these ideas. How will you get it? So it is not that I will come and show you how to write all these arrow marks, etc. You should know it, or so you should learn it by seeing, going through toppers copy. Take up rank 1, rank 2, or say you can take up Srishti Dabas. Okay, why I'm telling Srishti Dabas? Very easy yaar. मतलब very easy content, मतलब very simple content, good presentation, good structure. You can take up say this year rank 2, so excellent presentation. So you can take up that one, or Ishita Kishore. So you can take up Ishita Kishore's last year, Ishita Kishore's paper, or you can take up say Vidushi last year, rank 13, Vidushi's paper. So go through their paper, you will get to know how to write the answer. So whenever I'm dictating, try to write in the same format. And again here, the reason why I'm purposefully not dictating big paragraphs. The reason is, in the paper, in the mains paper, you cannot write big paragraph. Why? no one has patience to read the big paragraph. So if you see all the toppers, each point will not be more than say 10 words or 12 words, not beyond that. So that is the reason all my points, whatever I'm writing or say what I'm dictating, is within this limits only. So again here, if I am extending the points or say if I'm elaborating the points, it is your duty to cut short that points. Matlab, understand that point and cut short it to 10 to 12 words. That you have to do it. This skill is very very crucial. So again here, don't in this class, do not sit in this class for some gaining some extraordinary knowledge. No, or whatever the knowledge that I'm giving is in the public domain. It is not some, I haven't called up Jaishankar and asked what is the thing. No, learn. Please be very pragmatic. You are sitting in this class to get marks. Be very brutal towards it. So if you attend my class and if you did not learn a skill, today's class, let us assume that today's class, if you attend my today's class and if you did not learn is at least one skill that would fetch you a few marks, or say fetch you, or say it will help you in increasing your marks by one, it is of no use. So don't be over excited with content. So content theek hai, have a broad understanding, but the more important is your focus on presentation structure, your time management, and then content. Fine. So theek hai yaar. And whenever I'm dictating, please try to write in terms of your mains answers. And how do you know it? Toppers copy. Fine. Yeah, how do I get toppers copy? Yeah, just put their name and write answer copy. Either they would have uploaded or some coaching institute would have uploaded. Okay, fine. We'll take a break. Come back at. Okay, so it's what's the time now? 6:30. So please come back at. Yeah. What time? You want the break now, or we'll continue with the class? Fine, we'll continue the class. We'll have a break later. So yeah. Okay, so right on here. So can someone tell what was the last point of the dictation? Uh, yes, Shambhavi. We'll continue with the class, but yeah, what was the last point? Unipolar world. Okay, fine. Okay, so thank you. Yeah. So yeah, unipolar world. Okay, so it was led by USA, unipolar world. So next one, right on. Next point, right on. Post 1980s, the East Asian economy post 1980s, the East Asian economies post 1980s, the East Asian economies, East Asia, East Asian economies, East Asian economies was growing in double digits. Was East Asian economies was growing in double digits. Was growing in double digits. Right down here. In 1991, in 1991, India faced financial crisis in 1991. India faced economic crisis. India faced economic economic crisis. India faced economic crisis. India faced economic crisis in 1991. India faced economic crisis. Full stop. India faced economic crisis. and took up economic reforms and took up and took up economic reforms economic and took up economic reforms and took up economic reforms economic reforms. So next one, write down. Next point, write down. The East Asian economies, the East Asian economies was a better opportunity. The East Asian economies, the East Asian economies was a better opportunity, was a better opportunity for India, for India to export, for India to export its, to for India to export its goods and services. Export its goods and services. Stop. As a reason, India had lookist policy. As a reason, India developed lookist policy in 1991. As a reason, India developed look east policy, lookist policy in 1991. Lookist policy in 1991. So what is look east policy? So write down here, next subheading is look east policy 1991. So if you understand look east policy, the same thing is rebranded by the present regime and renamed it as a act east policy. More or less it is the same. The no major changes, more or less it is the same. So what is look east policy? So write down here, look east policy 1991. Look east policy 1991. Aim, so write down here as a objective. Lookist policy 1991. Objectives. First one is promote India's economic growth. Promote India's economic growth. Promote India's economic growth. Promote India's economic growth through increased trade. Through increased trade and investments. Increased trade and investments with East Asian countries. With East Asian countries. Fine. Next one is strengthen strategic relation. Strengthen strategic relation. Strengthen strategic relations with Japan. With strategic relation with Japan and ASEAN countries. Japan and ASEAN. Caps, everything has to be in caps. ASEAN nations. ASEAN nations. ASEAN nations for ASEAN nations for security, for security and defense. Security and defense partnership. Security and defense partnership. Security and defense partnership. And the next one is to counterbalance China's to counterbalance. Next one is counterbalance China's to counterbalance China's influence. China's influence. China's influence in the region. 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 Okay, so these were the main objectives of Look East policy, and it was started during PV Narasimha Rao's period. So the reason why we went towards the Eastern Asia, because so 1991 Cold War ended. So there was only one leader now, that was USA. So it was unipolar world led by USA. So USA, it was a bit challenging for us to engage with USA, because we had seen its impact in Pakistan. If we have a close engagement with USA would start intervening in our local politics, domestic politics, and military. So the evidence was Pakistan. So we did not have a great economic relation with USA. So what we did, we started having economic relation with the East Asian countries, because this East Asian countries was economically growing, in the sense it was growing in double digits. People's money, that is people's disposable income, was increasing. If people's disposable or say per capita income is increasing, people will purchase more goods and services. If people purchase more goods and services, what would happen? We could easily export our goods and services to them. So that was the idea. So as a reason, in order to encash this economic growth in Southeast Asian market, so we had a Look East Asia policy. So below this, write on. So post 2014, Look East policy was renamed as Act East policy. Post 2014, Look East policy, Look East policy was renamed as Act East policy. Act East policy with similar objectives. With similar objectives. With similar objectives. Fine. So with similar objectives. Okay, got it. Fine. So this was your Act East policy. So now we'll take up see here. Then what happened? See, in 1980s, your Southeast Asian economy started growing. So in 1991, so world Cold War ended, India had economic crisis. We wanted to also develop economically, so we went towards your Southeast Asian market. So then what happened? So that was in 1991. So here 1995, post 1995, 1996. Please see here, please focus here. 1995, I'll give a break. I'll give a break after this. So Ananya, I'll give a break here. So please focus here. So 1995, 1996, what happened in this period? Your Southeast Asian market started collapsing. So we initiated our engagement with Southeast Asia in 1991, proper engagement with Southeast Asia in 1991. So by 1995, 1996, your Southeast Asia market started collapsing. So that is the reason why. So now zoom out and see G20. Why G20 was formed? Because there was a massive economic crisis in Southeast Asia. In order to overcome that, G20 was formed in 1997. So in 1995, 1996, the Southeast Asian market, which was booming, started to collapse. So then what happened? So we had Gujarat Doctrine. So yeah, so we had Gujarat Doctrine in 1996. So Gujarat Doctrine focuses on, so Narasimha Rao told that during Narasimha Rao's period, we started engaging with the Southeast Asian market. Now 1995, 1996, the Southeast Asian market is down. So next we had Gujral, IK Gujral's government. So in IK Gujral, so we told that, ठीक है यार, forget about the Southeast Asia. Let us focus on integrating this Indian neighbors, because India and its neighbor in itself is a big market, a big population. So the more than 100 crore people lives in this region. So why focus on Southeast Asia, which is declining? Let us focus on this region. That is, let us integrate this market, because now just zoom out and see. European Union was formed in 1994. So actually it came in 1994. So before that, the variations were of European Union were there. So European Union was a successful one. So economic activity started increasing in European Union. So all the European countries came together and formed one European Union. So it was a successful one. But similarly, on the same lines, India also wanted to create one model, that is European Union model, that is integrating all the regions of the neighborhood, India's neighborhood. So that is called as your Gujral doctrine. Fine. So we'll take up this Gujral doctrine after say break. So now it is 6:45. We'll come back at what, 6:55. We'll come back at 6:55. Fine. Any doubt? Okay, fine. So we'll please come back by 6:55. Seven, yeah. Okay, ठीक है. We'll 7 o'clock. Okay, please come back by 7 o'clock. Then we'll start with again here. If you do not understand Gujarat doctrine, the current government, Modi government, has initiated something called as a neighborhood first policy. That is nothing but your Gujarat doctrine. Renamed it as a neighborhood first policy. So please focus here. So please come back by 7 o'clock. Got it? Okay. Yeah. So now let us start with Gujarat Doctrine. So what is this Gujarat Doctrine? So Gujarat Doctrine, it emphasizes on bridging a good relation with the neighbors. So that is the concept of your Gujarat Doctrine. The current Modi government has this neighborhood first policy, right? So after 2014, when Modi took up the prime ministership, so he changed the name of this Gujarat Doctrine. But however, the crux, everything is the same. It was rebranded as Neighborhood First Policy. So what exactly is this Gujarat Doctrine? Please focus here. So if you have to understand the current Modi government's Neighborhood First Policy, you have to understand what is this Gujarat Doctrine. So write down this Gujarat Doctrine. Emphasize Gujarat Doctrine. So Gujarat Doctrine had 5 principles. So what are these 5 principles? So write down here. So 5 principles of Gujarat Doctrine. Quick. 5 principles. 5 principles. 5 principles of Gujarat Doctrine. Of Gujarat Doctrine. What are the 5 principles of Gujarat Doctrine? See here, India is a big power in the South Asian region. So this region we call it as a South Asian region. Fine. So India is a big power in the South Asian region. See, be it its economic size, be it the population size, geographical size, economy, population, geography. If in all these parameters, India is the big country in South Asia. This region we call it as a South Asia region. Fine. So it's a big country in this region. So in this with such a situation, if we have to engage with our neighbors, so what Gujarat told was that we should follow these 5 principles. If we have to engage with Pakistan, or say with Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, your Sri Lanka, etc., if we have to engage with this small countries, we need to follow these 5 principles. Only then we can engage with this small countries, engage in a fruitful way in this with this small countries. So what are these 5 principles? The first principle of Gujarat Doctrine is, so please write down here, the first principle of Gujarat Doctrine is non-reciprocity. So the first principle is non-reciprocity. That is non-reciprocity. Non-reciprocity. So what is this non-reciprocity? It means that India should not expect any reciprocity with the relation among its neighbors. If India gives $500 million of aid to Sri Lanka, India cannot expect back $500 million of aid from Sri Lanka back. If India helps Sri Lanka in terms of defense, we cannot expect Sri Lanka to help India in terms of defense. That is non-reciprocity. If we are engaging with any of our neighboring countries in South Asia, we should not expect anything in return. That is, we cannot expect the reciprocity in the relationship. So write down here non-reciprocity. Write down here, India should not expect reciprocity. India should not expect reciprocity. India should not expect reciprocity. India should not expect reciprocity in its in its relations with its neighbors. Neighbors. Why we should not expect reciprocity with our neighbors? Because they're small country, yeah, they're small tiny countries. They don't have a proper economy. They are mostly politically unstable. The geography is small. What can we expect from Bhutan? Such a small country, it is smaller than most of our states. What can we expect from Bhutan? So we cannot expect anything from these small countries. So the first principle of Gujarat Doctrine is non-reciprocity. The second principle is non-intervention. Non-intervention. Non-intervention in internal matters. In internal matters. Internal matters Non-intervention in internal matters of our neighbor. Of our neighbors. Non-intervention in internal matters of our neighbors. So what happened? A brief idea. Have a brief idea regarding Rajiv Gandhi period. So what did Rajiv Gandhi do during his tenure? So he wanted to assert India. We wanted to assert ourselves in the Southeast Asia region. So what did we do? We sent our army into Sri Lanka. In 1987, Sri Lanka was having this civil war. So what did we do? We sent our army into Sri Lanka. We started entering into the domestic affairs of Sri Lanka. See, if any country enters into the domestic affairs of other country, we will lose confidence. Say, what if we are having elections? It is a domestic affair. Assume that China will intervene in this one. So assume that tomorrow is the counting day. Assume that US will come and intervene in the counting. How does it look? So it doesn't look right. It compromise. It doesn't look good, right? It compromises our sovereignty. So what Gujral told was that if you have to win the trust of our neighbors, you should not intervene in their domestic politics. So that was the next principle, that is non-intervention in the internal matters of our neighbors. Let them fight, let them do whatever they want. That is their domestic issues. Why intervene? So with Sri Lanka, what happened when we intervened in during Rajiv Gandhi period, when we sent our army into Sri Lanka, what happened? There was a severe backlash. So Sri Lanka lost trust on India. Sri Lanka was thinking India is a big brother. India is acting like a bully. So it will not create a good relationship. So the next point under Gujarat doctrine was non-intervention. And the third point of your Gujarat doctrine is respect respect territorial integrity. Territorial territorial integrity. Respecting territorial integrity. Respecting territorial integrity in the sense that is India should respect their borders, their area. That is India, even if India has a good military power, India is a big geographical area, it is not that we'll enter into their land. So that will not help. So we should not help, or we should not enter into their land. That is, we should respect the territorial integrity. Even though India has a good military power compared to those South Asian countries, we should not use force and enter into their territory. We should respect the territorial integrity of our neighborhood. So what is the reason why we have to respect? Because to gain confidence. Now the big problem in South Asia is that these small countries like say Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, etc., they are not able to properly engage with India because they think that India is acting like a big brother. India is acting like a bully. If they like how, like, see here what happened in 1991. In 1991, why didn't we engage with US? We had an opportunity to engage with US. We did not, because US was a very big country. US could easily intervene in our domestic matters. So that's the reason why we did not engage with US properly, right? So that's the reason why we went with the Southeast Asian region. So here, similarly, with respect to Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, etc., India is a very big country. If we have to engage with these small countries, we need to build a good trust with them. We need to build a good relation with them. How do we build a good relation with them? We need to assure that we will respect your sovereignty. We will not intervene in your domestic matters. No matter what, we will not expect the reciprocity. We will give you $500 million, you need not give us anything back. So this was the three principles. And the next principle was yeah, the fourth one was peaceful settlements of disputes. Peaceful settlement, peaceful settlements of disputes. Okay, peaceful settlements of disputes. If there's any dispute, we'll not go into war. That is, if there's any dispute, we'll peacefully settle it. So that is the next policy now. It's the next principle of your Gujarat Doctrine. Say, we had war with Pakistan. If there's any dispute, will not get into a war. What we'll do is that we'll peacefully resolve the disputes. So that is the next principle, and the last principle is shared security. Shared security. Shared security through shared security through regional cooperation. Regional cooperation. Shared security through regional cooperation. The fifth one is shared security through regional cooperation. Fine. So these are the five doctrine, that is the five principle. What do you mean by shared security? That is this, as Southeast Asia, that is sorry, South Asia as will be considered as one unit. In order to protect this one region, we will together protect this region. It is not that only India will protect the region. We will together protect the region. If we consider that we will together protect the region, even they will also properly cooperate in protecting the region. So these are the five principles of your Gujarat Doctrine. Fine. So this led to a major shift in India's foreign policy. So before that, if you now please see here. So did Nehru focus a lot on neighborhood? No. Did Indira Gandhi focus on neighborhood? No. Lal Bahadur Shastri? No. Moraji Desai? No. From Nehru till Moraji Desai, our foreign policy was towards ensuring India's security. Now come to Rajiv Gandhi period. Did Rajiv Gandhi focus on neighborhood? No. What did Rajiv Gandhi do? In Rajiv Gandhi's period, the foreign policy was changed in such a way that we get economic and technological benefits. Now come to Narasimha Rao period. Did Narasimha Rao focus on neighborhood? No. Narasimha Rao focused on Lookish, that is East Asia, East Asian policy. Now it was only Gujarat Doctrine. After Gujarat Doctrine, we started emphasizing on the neighborhood region. Before that, our foreign policy did not explicitly emphasize on the neighborhood. Are you seeing the difference? So it was during Gujarat Doctrine. It was during Gujarat period we emphasized on during Gujarat period we emphasized on neighborhood. So this was again followed by Vajpayee. So during Vajpayee, what did he do? So he started engaging with Pakistan. So again, Manmohan Singh also followed the same thing. You would have seen about this Aman Ke Asha, etc. So that is like engaging with the neighboring countries. But what happened? The current Modi government. So 2014. So in 2014, we had this neighborhood first policy. So that is nothing but rebranding of Gujarat Doctrine. Everything is the same. The name is just changed. More or less, the name is more or less everything is the same. Just the name is changed. Like PV Narasimha Rao started Look East policy, Modi government renamed it as Act East policy with minor changes. This Gujarat Doctrine was started by Gujarat. So Modi government renamed it as Neighborhood First policy. So whatever the policies that are taken by the previous government, the current government is following it. Fine. So now let us see the achievements of Gujarat Doctrine. Till here, any doubt? Yes, Rahul. Shared security like NATO. When we take up NATO, we'll see to it. Okay. So, okay, fine. So now write down achievements of Gujarat Doctrine. Achievements of Gujarat Doctrine. So what is the achievement? What is the main achievement of Gujarat Doctrine? For the first time, we focused on improving the relation with the neighbors. Nehru did not do, Indira Gandhi did not do, Shastri didn't do, Desai, Moraji Desai didn't do, Rajiv Gandhi didn't do, Narasimha Rao didn't do. So it was Gujarat who started this one. So achievements of Gujarat Doctrine. So write down here. Write down here. First one, improved the relation with the neighboring countries. Improved the relation with the neighboring countries. Improved the relation with the neighboring countries. This happened for the first time. Starting from independence, this happened for the first time. So that a dedicated policy for neighborhood was given by this Gujarat. So improved the relationship with the neighboring countries. Yeah, next one, right on. Increased trade and investments. Increased trade and investments. Increased increased trade and investments. Trade and investments among the neighboring countries. Among the neighboring countries. Next one is created a positive perception. Created a positive perception about India among neighbors. Among neighbors. So earlier, the neighbor countries were thinking India as a big brother. So it was because what happened in 1987? In 1987, India sent army to Sri Lanka. In 1971, we defeated Pakistan. So there are many cases where even in Nepal, when we take up India-Nepal relation, so there was a perception that was built that India is influencing Nepal. So this and again in 1971, India started influencing Bangladesh. So all these things led to the perception among the neighboring countries that India is a big brother and India wants to control us. So after this Gujarat Doctrine, it created a positive perception among this neighboring countries that nahi, India is not a big brother. India wants to engage with us in a better way. So this was the achievements of Gujarat Doctrine. Fine. So now let us write the Vajpayee regime, Atal Bihari Vajpayee regime. So 98 till 2004. So 98 till 2004. So what happened in 98 till 2004? Whatever this Gujarat Doctrine told was given in Gujarat Doctrine. The same thing was followed by Atal Bihari Vajpayee in letter and spirit. So whatever the five principles are there, everything was followed by Vajpayee. The same thing was followed by Manmohan Singh. The same thing is followed by Narendra Modi even today. Fine. So write on this Atal Bihari Vajpayee 1998 till 2004. So this is suggestion if you that is if you have time and if you're not giving this year and if you know Hindi, there's a episode known as series known as Pradhan Mantri. So just type Pradhan Mantri in YouTube. That's a very good series here. I think there are some 16, 17 odd videos. So it's very nice. So that will also help you in covering your post-independence. So every aspects of your post-independence will be covered, and all this foreign policies, how foreign policies has evolved, that is like brilliantly shown in that series. So if you want, you can watch that. But however, if you're giving this year, do not watch that. No, you don't have time. But however, if you're giving next year, watch that. You will have a better understanding about Pradhan Mantri. So it is Pradhan Mantri. Pradhan Mantri. Yeah, it is in Hindi. So it's in Hindi. If you know Hindi, and then you can watch it. So Pradhan Mantri. So you can watch that. So it's nice. It's nice episode. Good. Okay, fine. So now let us see 1998 till 2004. Now I'll give a brief overview about your Vajpayee regime's foreign policy. So what Vajpayee regime did was, so please see here. In order to understand Vajpayee regime, slightly go back to 1991. In 1991, what we had two options. One is US, one is Southeast Asian market. We went towards your Southeast Asian market. From 95 onwards, Southeast Asian market started declining. So as a reason, what happened? Gujral told that. So under Gujral doctrine, we started focusing on your neighborhood region. So Vajpayee also continued the same policy of Gujral doctrine. That is, under Vajpayee period, we emphasized more. That is, we emphasized more on neighborhood, connecting with the neighborhood. Secondly, Vajpayee also focused on nuclear programs. So the nuclear program was initiated in by Indira Gandhi. So Indira Gandhi 1974. So we had become a nuclear power. Again, another time the nuclear program was again tested by Vajpayee in 1998, Pokhran Valley. So in Pokhran, or in Pokhran, this was tested. So again, nuclear test was conducted. So after that, what happened? So when India was officially became a nuclear power, now India could start engaging with the Western world. So India is now officially nuclear power. That is, we have a nuclear weapon. So what Indira Gandhi did was technology perspective. So here, what Vajpayee did was from actual technology which could be used in weapon making. So we started the it was tested by Vajpayee in 1998. So India officially became a nuclear power. Then what happened? So for 1998 till 2000, we US imposed sanction on us. But however, after 2000, India started having good engagements with USA. See here what happened. So during 1991, we did not have a good diplomatic relation with USA. But the Vajpayee's period, we started having good diplomatic relation with USA. That was continued by Manmohan Singh and again Modi. And just look at the timeline here. So Gujral doctrine. So this Gujral doctrine focus on neighborhood. This was continued by Vajpayee. Then what did Vajpayee start? Vajpayee started building relation with USA. This was taken by Manmohan Singh, and this is the same was taken by Modi. Fine. So but what did Vajpayee initiate? Vajpayee's foreign policy initiated closer relation with USA, which was not done by Narasimha Rao. Narasimha Rao focused on Southeast Asian market. Narasimha Rao did not proactively engage with USA, but Vajpayee, during Vajpayee's tenure, Vajpayee started proactively engaging with USA. The same policy was continued by Dr. Manmohan Singh. The same policy is now continued by Modi. Fine. So along with this Gujral doctrine, even Manmohan Singh also continued this Gujral doctrine. Modi also continued the Gujral doctrine, but however renamed it as a neighborhood first policy. So are you getting this broad picture? Any doubt over here? Broad picture. So how things evolved? No, Gujral doctrine was started by A.K. Gujral. Okay. Yeah. So please see here. So now write down here. Uh, yeah, 98 to 2004. 98 to 2004. So write down. First line write down. Vajpayee focused on. That is Vajpayee. Vajpayee focused on. Also Vajpayee continued. Vajpayee continued. Vajpayee continued Gujral doctrine principles. Gujral doctrine principles in India's foreign policy. Vajpayee continued Gujral doctrine's principles in India's foreign policy. Look at how Vajpayee did. So what happened? So what is Gujral doctrine? Neighborhood first policy. In 1999, what happened? We had Kargil war. 1999, we had Kargil war with Pakistan. So then what happened again after immediately after Kargil war, Vajpayee again started engaging with Pakistan, because he told that we cannot the famous quote of Vajpayee is that we can change our friends but we cannot change the neighbors. So since Pakistan is a neighbor, we cannot change it. So what he did was, despite having a war with Pakistan in 1999, in 2000 again he reinitiated talks with Pakistan. So because he was following Gujarat doctrine, that is engaging with Pakistan, engaging with neighborhood. That is, see, what Vajpayee told is like 100% right. You cannot change. You can change your friends, but you cannot change your neighbors. We have to stay together. That is, India and Pakistan has to stay together. If we do not engage properly, then it is going to affect India itself. So as the reason, in 1999 we had Kargil war. 2000 again Vajpayee started engaging with. It was Vajpayee who proactively started engaging with Pakistan. 2001 what happened? Parliament attack. Pakistan attacked Indian Parliament 2001. So now the all the dates would be overwhelming, but just understand the philosophy. When we take up each country, we will go in detail regarding the dates. So now forget about the dates. So just understand the philosophy, what each prime minister is doing. So Vajpayee, so despite having issues with Pakistan, he is proactively engaging with Pakistan because he is following Gujarat doctrine. So 2001 there was parliament attack. Despite that, again we started engaging with Pakistan. So again 2004. So after 2004, Manmohan Singh again started engaging with Pakistan. So all 2014 Modi again he started engaging with Pakistan, because Gujarat doctrine showed us that your neighborhood is very important. The reason why neighborhood is important, because to ensure peace and stability. If there is any crisis in Pakistan, if Pakistan government is not strong, what will happen? That will lead to development of militant group, and this militant group will invariably attack India. If Pakistan is not strong, if Pakistan economy is not growing, what will happen? People from Pakistan will enter into India as a refugee. That is a problem for India. The same thing with respect to all the countries. Neighborhood is very important for India, not for India, for every country. Neighborhood stability is very important. So, in order to ensure stability, in order to ensure cooperation with the neighborhood, we are focusing on Gujarat doctrine. Fine. Okay. So, write down here 1998 to 2004. So, write down here. Vajpayee continued the Gujarat doctrine. Vajpayee continued the Gujarat doctrine and started building good relation with the neighbors. Building good relation with the neighbors. Started building good relationship with the neighbors. Below this one point right on. Below this one point right on. Despite having 1999 Kargil war, despite 1999 Kargil war and 2001 parliament attack by Pakistan, India started engaging with Pakistan. India started engaging with Pakistan as India started engaging with Pakistan as, write down that Vajpayee's quote, as friends can be changed but neighbors cannot. As friends can be changed but neighbors cannot. But neighbors can't. This is Vajpayee. So this is given by Vajpayee. Fine. So again, during Vajpayee's period, we started having proactive engagements with the neighborhood. So below this, write down again. Actively participated in SARC. Actively, next line. Actively participated in SARC. SAARC. Actively participated in SARC to build relation with neighbors. Actively participated in SARC to build relation with neighbors. To build a relation with neighbors. To build a relation with the neighbors. Fine. So this was your policy, that is Vajpayee's policy. And next one, write down nuclear power. Nuclear power. Omkar and others. SARC is a regional grouping. When we take up SARC as a regional grouping, that time we'll explain. Now just understand that SARC is a group, it's a regional grouping, international grouping of all the India and it's among neighboring countries. So that is a grouping. It is SAARC. SAARC, not SAARK. SARC, SAARC. Okay. So again here, Pokhran test. So write down here nuclear power. Pokhran test was conducted. Pokhran test was conducted. Pokhran nuclear test was conducted. So Pokhran nuclear test was conducted. Pokhran nuclear test was conducted, asserting India's strategic autonomy. Asserting India's strategic autonomy. Asserting India's strategic autonomy. Autonomy and deterrence. Deterrence against potential threats. Deterrence against potential threats. Deterrence against potential threats. So again, in foreign, that is during Vajpayee's period, so we had nuclear test. So again, this asserted our strategic autonomy and created and it helped in creating deterrence against any potential threats. So then what happened? We started engaging with USA. So next write down improved relations with USA. Improved relations with USA. Improved relation with USA. Improved your relations with USA. And increased economic and defense engagements. Increased economic and defense ties with USA. Defense ties with USA. Fine. So these are the broad foreign policies during your Vajpayee regime. Fine. Any doubt during Vajpayee regime? See the details, the nuances that we will take up when we take up individual country specific. Say India, Pakistan, what all happened. So India, US, what all happened. So everything will cover. But however, now have a broad understanding, that is a macro view about your India's foreign policy. Fine. Okay. So now let us see the contemporary foreign policies. button, it is Vajpayee. Okay, now let us start with your contemporary foreign policy. See, contemporary foreign policy is all the 21st century foreign policies. See, there is no major, if you analyze the foreign policy of Manmohan Singh and Modi, there is no major difference as such. The, again, in social media and all this political speeches, we might portray ourselves as Vishwaguru, etc., etc. Whatever the foreign policies that was there during Manmohan Singh's period, the same foreign policy is being carried forwarded by Modi. So Gujral Doctrine, so initiated by Gujral, I.K. Gujral. So it was taken by Vajpayee, followed by Manmohan Singh. Modi rebranded it as Neighborhood First Policy. Lookist policy started by Narasimha Rao. Again, that was followed by Manmohan Singh also, and again Modi renamed it as Act East policy. If you consider Vajpayee initiated talks, improved the relation with USA. It was taken forward by Manmohan Singh. Now, if you see Modi is much more closer to US compared to Manmohan Singh. Fine. So whatever that was done by Vajpayee, the same thing was followed by Manmohan Singh. And again, in Manmohan Singh's period, what happened? So we started engaging with Africa proactively. So if you see Manmohan Singh during 2008, during Manmohan Singh's regime, what was a new thing that Vajpayee did? We started engaging economic engagement with USA increased during Vajpayee period. That was continued by Manmohan Singh, and the same thing is continued by Modi. But what did Manmohan Singh do something new? He followed Gujral Doctrine. He followed what Vajpayee did. But what is the new thing that Manmohan Singh did? So he started engaging with Africa. So that is India-Africa summit was started by Manmohan Singh. Now, what did Modi do? So, with proper diplomatic engagements, Modi helped in bringing, that is the current regime helped in bringing African Union into G20. So, whatever that was started during Manmohan Singh's regime, the same thing is being continued in Modi's regime also. So, what did Modi do? Something new. So, Modi started focusing more on Central Asia. When we come to Modi's regime, the new thing what Modi did, that we'll see to it. But whatever that was done, starting from say Narasimha Rao's period, or say Gujral, or say Vajpayee, the same thing was followed by Manmohan Singh's period. But however, the new thing that was there was Africa. Fine. Okay. Okay. So now let us write this one: contemporary foreign policy post post 2004. Contemporary foreign policy post 2004. Okay, so please see here. So write down here. India's foreign policy. See, by now, by 2000, post 2000, China had also become some important power. So before that, China was not considered as a very important power. After 2000, China's economy had become so big that it was considered as a big power. China also was considered as a big power. So contemporary foreign policy, that is post 2004 onwards. So right on here, try to post 2004. First point right on. Try to balance between. Try to balance between. Seek. Okay. Try to balance between major powers. First one is try to balance between major powers. Major powers. Major powers. Aramark, USA, Russia, and China. Okay. So here you must understand one thing. You must understand here. So after 2000, please keep this in mind. After 2000, China's economy became very big. That is, China's economy was very large compared to India. And secondly, after 2000, Putin became Vladimir Putin, Russian president. So he became the president, and he started rejuvenating Russia's power, Russia's military power. So on one side, often just see the broad picture of the world. On one side, from 1991, USA was the power. So when Putin came into place, when Putin became president, he started rejuvenating the Russia's power. So Russia was also becoming emerging military power. Russia is never a economic power. Russia is a military power. So when Putin became president, Russia started becoming a military power. Your China, so what was happening to China? China started becoming an economic power. So USA was already a power since 1991. Russia started becoming a military power. China started becoming an economic power. So two big powers were emerging. That is, on one side, Russia was becoming an military power under Putin. So China was becoming an economic power. So USA was already a power. And we know that, so this USA and Russia, they do not go together. That is, in the Cold War, it was a fight between USA and USSR. Even under Putin, there is a fight. There's a subtle Cold War type of fight between USA and Russia. See, for India, USA is also needed, Russia is also needed, China is also needed. But so if we engage with Russia, USA will get irked. USA will get irked. If we engage with Russia, USA will get irked. If we engage with Russia, if we engage with USA, Russia will get irked. And China is an emerging power. If China is an emerging power in Asia, so it is going to compromise our power, our superiority. So in Asia region, earlier there were two powers, that is India and China, of the same size. But after 2000, what happened? China started to grow immensely. So the balance of power was shifting towards China. That is, China was becoming a big power compared to India. That is, India's superiority in the region was getting compromised. So now the challenge in 2004 was that, post 2004 was that our foreign policy had to balance between USA, Russia, and China. Russia was emerging because Putin became the president, and he was reviving all his military equipments. China started becoming economic power. US was already a power. Understood this? So write down this: balancing relation between the major powers: Russia, USA, and China. Okay. So next one, write down. India started strengthening economic partnership with India started strengthening economic partnership with emerging economies emerging economies emerging economies. Example: BRICS countries. BRICS, BRICS countries. Okay. Now please go back to your Narasimha Rao. Narasimha Rao started engaging with the Southeast Asian market because the Southeast Asian market was booming. In a sense, the disposable income was increasing, so we could sell our goods to the Southeast Asian market, that is Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, etc. Now what happened? 1995, the Southeast Asian market started collapsing. So what did Gujral tell? IK Gujral. So he told that let us focus on the neighborhood. So we started engaging with the neighborhood. What did Vajpayee do? Vajpayee started focusing on US, so which was not done by your Narasimha Rao. So Vajpayee started focusing on US. Now during Manmohan Singh's regime, so all the emerging economies was booming. So what was the emerging economies? The big emerging economies whose income, whose economy is growing in double digits. But however, during Manmohan Singh's period, Indian economy was also growing almost in double digits for quite a long time. So it was growing in almost double digit. So Indian economy was also growing, and there were other economies also that were growing. So what this is called as BRICS. So BRICS is B for Brazil, R for Russia, I for India, C for China, S for South Africa. So these were the emerging economies. India started focusing on this emerging economies for to strengthen the economic partnership. Fine. So this was the next aspects of your Manmohan Singh's regimes, Manmohan Singh's regimes, foreign policy. Are you getting this concept? So in Vajpayee, what did Vajpayee do? He initiated talks with, matlab, a good economic partnership with US. That was continued by Manmohan Singh. But however, with the emerging economies, what was the emerging economies? Your Brazil was also growing. Your South Africa was also growing. Russia was growing because Putin became the president. Russia was growing. China was growing. So India was growing. So there were many emerging economies that were growing, in the sense that the economy was growing in almost double digit. So when I tell economy is growing, it means that the people's disposable income is growing. So when I tell your economy is growing, your salary or your income is growing. If your income is growing, you will buy more goods and services. If you are buying more goods and services, I can supply. If I supply, I will get benefit. Similarly, Brazil, Russia, China, South Africa, these countries were emerging, in the sense their income was growing. If their income is growing, India saw a potential that now we can trade with these countries. How Narasimha Rao saw, during Narasimha Rao, he saw a potential in Southeast Asian market. That's why we had look east policy. So here, Manmohan Singh's regime, during Manmohan Singh's regime, we saw potential in this emerging economies like Brazil, Russia, China, South Africa. Then we started strengthening the economic partnership with these emerging economies. Fine. S is South Africa. S means South Africa. Yes, earlier first initially it was BRIC, but however later on it became BRICS. Okay, yeah. So this is S is South Africa. Okay. So then we started active engagement with Africa. So next point, right on. Active engagement with Africa. Post 2004, it was started by Manmohan Singh. So Manmohan Singh started this. That is first summit. India Africa first summit was started by Manmohan Singh. So right on here. Active engagement with Africa. Active engagement with Africa. Active engagement with Africa to increase trade and investment. To increase trade and investments in Africa. To increase trade and investment in Africa. Okay. To increase trade and investment in Africa. Example, right on. Example, India Africa Forum Summit. India Africa Forum Summit. India Africa Forum Summit. India Africa Forum Summits. So this was started by Manmohan Singh. Again, Modi also continued this India Africa Forum Summit. So before Manmohan Singh, we did not engage with Africa from the economic angle. So there was no major engagement with Africa from the economic angle. Under Manmohan Singh's regime, we started engaging with Africa from the economic angle. Got it? Okay. So next one, write on. So next angle, write on. So next one, write on. Next point, write on. Look West policy. Look West policy. Post 2010. Next one, Look West policy post 2010. Look West policy post 2010. Narasimha Rao started Look East policy. So now Look West policy was started by Manmohan Singh. So I write down here Look West policy post 2010. Two, write down. See again here West Asia. So again here Look West policy. Write down below this. Write down to engage with West Asia. To engage with West Asia. To engage with West Asia. See what is West Asia? West Asia means all your Arab world, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Iran, Iraq, all this region, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. So all this region belongs to your West Asia. So now please focus here for 1 minute. Just focus here. That is during this period. So after 2010. India was booming. That is, India's economy was booming, and we had to we had to have a energy security. Energy security. So this West Asian market, see here, there are two things that we focus, or say three things that we focused in our Look West policy. For one is that is your Arab world, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, etc. So this region, Qatar, etc., Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, all this region. That is just open the map and see the the Arab world. The Arab world has a huge resource of oil and natural gas. India doesn't have oil and natural gas, matlab adequate amount of oil and natural gas for our domestic needs. So we require oil and natural gas from the West Asia. If we have a good policy, good relation with West Asia, we can get this oil and natural gas at a cheaper price. That is one aspect of your West Asia. That is Look West policy. And second one is your West Asia, since they sell a lot of oil and natural gas to the different country, they have lot of money with them. They have lot of foreign reserves with them. In the sense, they have lot of dollars with them. And these dollars they can invest in India. India doesn't have money for capital investment. Indian government doesn't have adequate money for construction of bridges, roads, capital investment. We do not have money. So because we are a developing country, we do not have money. But this Arab world, they have a lot of money with them. So we want their money to be invested in India. So Look West policy aimed to attract those investment into India. So one is in terms of energy security, and the next one is in terms of attracting investment from the West Asia into India, and the third one is diaspora. Diaspora security. Diaspora security. See, before 2010, mainly people from Kerala were going to the this thing Arab world. Now, if you see, people in North India also, UP, Bihar, Haryana, in this region also, they started going towards your West Asia. That is your be it UAE or say Saudi, Qatar, Oman, etc. Now, so we have to protect our diaspora over there. These are our people living in West Asia, living in the Arab world. We need to protect them. How can we protect them? If we have a good relation with those countries, with those governments, we can protect our people living there. So under Look West policy, our focus was on three dimensions. One is to ensure India's energy security because it is the Arab world which has the largest reserve of oil and natural gas. Secondly, to get their investment because they have a lot of money. This Arab world, they have a lot of money, so they can invest in India. And thirdly, Indian diaspora. We have the second largest Indian diaspora is in the Arab world. The first largest Indian diaspora is in USA. Second largest Indian diaspora is in Arab world. So if we have to protect our Indians in Arab world, we should have a good relation with the Arab world. So in order to maintain that, we initiated, that is Manmohan Singh's regime initiated this Look West policy. Fine. So write on this Look West policy. Okay, so write on this Look West policy. Post 2000, post 2010. Yeah, right on. It aimed to strengthen ties with West Asia. It aimed to strengthen ties with West Asia, to West Asia, in order to ensure, in order to ensure, first one, in order to ensure, first one, energy security to India, in order to ensure energy security to India, energy security to India. Next one is, second one is energy security to India. Second one is attract investments to India. Attract investments to India. Attract investments to India. And the third one is to protect Indian, to ensure security, to ensure security, to ensure security for Indian diaspora, to ensure security for Indian diaspora, to ensure security for Indian diaspora. Fine. Okay, next point right on. Next point right on. Post 2014. Post 2014. Post 2014. Act East policy. Act East policy. Act East policy hyphen similar objectives. Post 2014 Act East policy. Act East policy similar objectives as that of Look East policy. Similar to Look East policy. Similar to Look East policy. Similar to Look East policy. Next one is neighborhood. Neighborhood first. Neighborhood first policy. Neighborhood first policy similar to Gujral doctrine. Gujral doctrine. Similar to Gujral doctrine. Yeah, third one, right up. Focus on Indo-Pacific region. Focus on building relations in the Indo-Pacific region. Focus on building relations in the Indo-Pacific region. Focus on building relations with the Indo-Pacific region. Indo-Pacific region. Indo-Pacific region. So earlier, I'll take 2 minutes extra. So what was Narsimha? What did Narsimha Rao do? Narsimha Rao focused on this region, that is Southeast Asian region. What did Gujarat do? Gujarat focused on this region, that is South Asia region. So what did Manmohan Singh do? Manmohan Singh focused on this is the West Asia region. So this is your West Asia region. So yeah, Manmohan Singh focused on West Asia region and even Africa also. But during Modi's regime, now we are focusing on this entire Indo-Pacific region. Are you getting the difference? So Narsimha Rao focused on your Narsimha Rao focused on Southeast Asian region. Gujarat focused on India and its neighborhood. So yeah, Manmohan Singh focused on West Asia, look West policies and Africa region. Now under Modi's regime, whatever the previous government did, we are continuing. But however, now we are focusing on this entire Indo-Pacific region. Fine, that is the changes in the current Modi's regime foreign policy. And then next one is balancing China's rise through regional grouping. So write down this is the last point of the day. So write down balancing China's rise through regional balancing China's rise through regional grouping. Balancing China's rise through regional grouping. See, in Indo-Pacific region, this is your China. This is China. China is also focusing on Indo-Pacific region. Now, India is also focusing on Indo-Pacific region. But however, India is a small economy compared to China. China is 5 times bigger than India. So, in order to balance China, so we are having regional groupings. So, regional grouping something called as Quad. Example below this, write down example quad. So quad is a regional grouping where US the members are under this, write down members are USA, Australia, Japan and India. USA, Australia, Japan and India. So this is your the current policies that the Modi government is taking up. See, West Asia, if they invest in India, see here, Bhimare, see, India is growing at 8%. If you invest in India, if you invest say $100 in India, next year it will become $108. But whereas if you take Japan is growing at say 0.5 percentage or 0.2 percentage. US is growing at 1 percentage. Say your all your European countries are growing at say 2 percentage, 3 percentage. So India, if they invest in India, they are not doing it for free. So if they invest in India, they will get a lot of returns because India is an emerging market. In India, it is growing. The economy is growing. The interest is high. So India is growing at say 8%. you invest in India. So it's something like this: you invest in any company, if the company grows by 8%, you will also get the returns. Same thing. So that's the reason. Okay. Okay, fine. So this is your balancing of China's rise. So chalo then. So from tomorrow, we'll take up the remaining part. Okay, so chalo then. So thank you and sincere advice. Even if you do not revise my class notes, theek hai, go through the toppers copy. You will get to know every day. If you go through toppers copy, you will actually get to know what needs to be written. Or say if you go through toppers copy on daily basis, your notes, you will also start writing the same thing or a similar way in your notes also. So go through notes, go through toppers copy properly, so that should help. Again, if you're not going through toppers copy, that's the biggest mistake you are committing, that you will not know it now. Okay, so chalo then. Okay, so chalo. So thank you guys. Thank you. Tomorrow we'll take up the class. So thank you.